Hey, how's it going? Ben here, great to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I wanted to share with you some of the tactics, some of the games, and some of the things I do with flashcards while in the classroom. Those who are returning to this channel will know that I usually talk about living and working in Thailand, and this video is a little bit different, although it is still on that theme. I work as an English teacher full-time here in Thailand. I'm sure that many of you watching these videos are also. It's one of the most popular jobs for people to have who work in Thailand who are of a different nationality. I plan to make a few videos in the near future showing some of the things, some of the tricks, some of the games I do in the classroom, potentially to help those of you who are new to teaching, especially to TEFL teaching English as a foreign language in a foreign country. In this video, we're going to be talking about flashcards. So one of the principal teaching tools I found is flashcards. You'll probably be using them a lot. Over the years, I've picked up a few different games, a few different strategies of using flashcards, and I thought I would share them with you in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I have with me some of the flashcards that my school provided with me. They're straight out of the primary 2 curriculum. So I was given a workbook, given a textbook, and given a box of flashcards. That's essentially all I was given, but yeah, you can make it work with just those things. So yeah, flashcards are an essential in the classroom, especially when teaching English as a foreign language, I find. And like I mentioned, this is the set that was given to me with an accompanying workbook for primary 2. And the first thing is the most obvious thing. You probably already know what to do here, but this is just regular flashcards. So this is great for introducing students to new vocabulary, especially if it's the first time they've dealt with that vocabulary. You'll probably have to go pretty slowly, start pretty simply. So I would call this like the regular flashcard strategy, right? Simply holding up the picture and asking, what is this? Or even more, if you need to take it down that level to, so it's a little bit more basic, you hold up the flashcard and you say the word yourself and get the students to repeat. For example, a picture. Very good. A window. Excellent, nice work. A pencil sharpener. Nice job. Once you've introduced the vocabulary, you can hold the picture up and say, what is this? Ah, nice work. And what is this? Wonderful. I'm sure you get the picture. So that is pretty basic. That's like the regular way to use flashcards. You could also ask individual students. So once you start to learn names, you can go through the classroom. You could be like, George, what is this? Very good. Nice work, George. Thank you very much. And you can make this last quite a long time. It's also a pretty good way calling individual students to make sure that everyone in the classroom is getting the vocabulary, because if you ask as a class to answer the question, if you stand at the front and ask everyone, you'll find that the students who understand it, who already know all the words, will be the loudest voices, and you may not hear or you may not notice, especially if you have a big class, everyone in the classroom, if they're saying the word correctly or if they know the vocabulary at all. So that is the first and most basic way I use flashcards in the classroom, and I use this very often, to be honest. So a way I like to develop this, especially if maybe you're going to do this vocab for a week and you have like another class and maybe they're starting to get it, so you want to make things interesting. What I would do is my next strategy, and I turn it into like a guessing game. So this actually works better with flashcards on the topic like animals. It works a little bit better, right? But just for example, okay, so this thing is something on the wall. It's made of glass, and we look through it to see outside. What is this? Very good. It's a window. All right. So the next thing is small. You would keep it in your pencil case, and it's used to sharpen pencils. I'm sure you've got this one. Well done. It's a pencil sharpener. Okay, so yeah, just an example. I like to turn it into a bit of a guessing game. I find this is pretty engaging for the students. It's also a little bit more fun once they start to know the vocabulary. I also think it helps you like sort of think about what the item is and what it does and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, it works a little bit better with things like animals. Obviously you could be like, this animal is orange and black. It's stripy. It's a scary animal with big teeth and claws, you know. So it works better with things like animals. But yeah, that is also a game I use quite a lot in the classroom. So my next flashcard strategy I've called student groups. Okay, so this is where I would call up a group of students. So let's say we're working with the first 3 cards of this vocabulary set. So I would call up 3 students, 1, 2, 3, get them to come up, and I would pass them 1 flashcard each. I would get them to stand in front of the class holding the flashcard. I would then ask each individual student, what is this? A picture. Okay, next student, what is this? A window. And so on. Next student, what is this? A workbook. Okay, so yeah, that's something else I would do. It's a little bit more interactive, something that gets the kids up. A lot of my students like typically to be involved, to get up, to stand up, move about. So this is a good way to get some of that energy out as well. So yeah, just getting them to come up, getting them to stand in a line at the front of class, giving them each a flashcard, and getting them to use the key vocabulary that you're trying to teach them. I never go to a classroom without some sticky tack, or blue tack as we call it in the UK. And that's because I like to use blue tack often when I'm teaching vocabulary, as I like to put the flashcards on the board or on the wall. So I could show you like this. So I could go 1, a picture. Okay, 2, a window. Okay, 3, a pencil sharpener. Okay, and you can stick them on the wall or on the board in the classroom in front of your class so they can see them. So this is a good way to introduce and show so that all the students can see the words. It's also a good thing to do if you want to get them to copy the pictures or take a note of the words and draw a picture. You can have the flashcards on the board, on the wall, so that you can see them to copy the words, copy the pictures. Something else I like to do whilst the flashcards are stuck to the board or stuck to the wall, we'll call this one the drumstick method. I'll call it the drumstick method because the first time I used it, one of my classrooms had a drumstick in the classroom, and I picked it up and gave it to the students. So I will do it first myself. So I would take the drumstick. This isn't a drumstick. I don't have a drumstick, unfortunately. This is just a binder from a folder. But I would go, a picture, a window, a pencil sharpener. Okay, and then what I would do is I would go to a student and pass them the stick, or the drumstick preferably. And then they come up and they would go, a picture, a window, a pencil sharpener. Okay, once they've done it, they sit back down, pass you back the stick, and you go to the next student, pass them the stick. This is really good for getting students up and speaking in front of the class. It kind of makes them a little bit more braver, I think. Some of your students will love doing this, some of them will hate it. It's also, I like passing the drumstick, especially if it's a new class, a new school year, and I don't know all the names yet. It makes it a little bit less embarrassing getting students and just being saying, you come up here, you can just pass them something and be like, okay, let's go. You know, you don't have to use the names. So that's something good. Sometimes a good strategy, especially if you're in a new class, maybe you're just starting at a new school, maybe your classes are like 60 students and you have 5 different classes of 60 students. You're never going to remember all the names because that sometimes happens out here when you're teaching English as a foreign language. So yeah, this is a good way to get around that as well, I find. Sometimes you will find that your flashcards are provided and they match the curriculum you're teaching. Sometimes they're partnered with the workbooks, like I said about the previous cards. Sometimes you won't be given any flashcards at all, and you'll have to maybe make some in some circumstances, especially if you're teaching those younger students. Flashcards are a great tool to have. And some of the topics I have to teach, I have to make my own flashcards because they're not provided. So for example, I teach science to a kindergarten 3 class. I have to teach them about sea animals, and it's pretty difficult to find a sea animal flashcard pack. I have a regular animal flashcard pack, farm animal pack, but I couldn't find that sea life animal pack. And it's more complicated when you have to teach this actual words. You have to make them match the textbook vocabulary that's been picked out in the textbook. So maybe you have to make some because it's just a little bit simpler than finding something that matches exactly. So this is all I did. I printed off some pictures off the internet of like a dolphin, a crab, so on, and stuck them onto some card so they're a little bit harder. And you can use flashcards like this. You can make them yourself. Now, what I want to show you with these particular flashcards, not just that you can make flashcards yourself, but also what I like to do often is actually split the word. So this would be called my split card strategy. So yeah, I like to split the picture and the word onto different cards. And one of the reasons why I like to do that is because it allows for a new game, which I will share with you now. So what you would do is you would stick the pictures on the wall first. So you would go dolphin, crab, jellyfish. Okay, now I have the pictures stuck to the wall, stuck to the board, whatever you're using to teach, in front of. Then you have the words. So I have dolphin, crab, jellyfish written on these separate cards. And what you can do is you can go, okay, you can hand them the card. Maybe if they don't know the words yet, maybe if they can't read just yet, you would say like jellyfish. Give the card to the student. They take this card and have to run up to the board and match it to the correct picture. So first student, jellyfish, would come up and match the word to the picture. Dolphin. Once again, give the card with the word on it to a different student in the class. They run up, match the word to the picture. And obviously, one more student for our example. Crab. Give the word to a student. They run up to the board and match the word to the picture. I think this is a good way to start learning to read the new vocabulary and begin to recognize the word as well as the picture. Obviously, you can also reverse this game. Okay, let me show you, because it's a little bit easier to show you than explain. But what you're doing basically is just switching it up. So you put the words first, give them the picture, they have to match the picture to the word. Okay, so this time the words are already stuck to the board. So maybe you read through them, you go dolphin, crab, jellyfish. This time you would pass the picture. So obviously you would go up to a student, maybe you don't need to say the word anymore because they probably recognize the picture. And this forces them to recognize the word rather than the picture when they run up to match it. So you'd give them the first one, dolphin, okay, then they run up, match the picture to the word, and so on. So the next student, crab, okay, match the picture to the word this time. So basically the same game, just reversed. And yeah, I think when you're matching the word to the picture, if you tell them the word as you give it them, they only have to remember which picture. This time they have to remember what the actual word is. So this is a good way to add variety to those games. I also think it focuses the mind a little bit on recognizing the word rather than the picture when done this way around. And one last game I do with these split flashcards, and this is like a mix-up kind of game. What I do is I put the word with the wrong picture. So this wouldn't be something I would do at the beginning of introducing new vocabulary to students, and it would make them a little bit confused. However, once they start to find it really easy, you could probably try this game if you wanted to. So what I would do is I would go dolphin. And all the students typically would be like, no, like that. And then I would go crab. Okay, and obviously that's not the crab. And then I would go jellyfish. Okay, and ideally if you have a good class, they'll be going no and shouting and all that kind of stuff. And what you can then do is go okay, and then maybe pick one or two students. So go 1, 2. They run up and they have to run up to the board and swap the words around, matching the correct picture. So for example, you would go 1, let's go. So just to show you what you actually do, the students actually do is they would have to run up and swap the words to match the right picture. So they would take dolphin, put it next to dolphin, crab, put it underneath the crab, and jellyfish, and put it under the jellyfish. So they have to mix them up and put them with the correct picture. Just quickly to round up this video, some other things I do with flashcards. Sometimes I would take them and I would put them, so I might put the flashcard over here, jellyfish over there, crab at the back of the classroom, and dolphin somewhere else. I'd probably put them on a table, put them on a bookshelf, hide them on a box, and it's like a kind of hide and seek flashcard game. So I would then go, okay, you, let's go. So pick a student and tell them crab. They have to run and find the crab. Next student, dolphin. They have to run around the classroom and find the dolphin. And obviously, like, you sort of spread the flashcards out around the classroom, call them individually, get them to go and run and find the flashcard. Something else I've done in the past that I don't really do too often because it doesn't work always. So you need to have quite a well-behaved and sensible class, and games where lots of students are running about the classroom isn't always ideal. So sometimes I would go dolphin, this corner, stick it on the wall. Crab, this corner, stick it on the wall. Once again, you need to make sure it's a classroom suitable. There needs to be a bit of space. My old classrooms used to have quite a lot of space. My new classrooms are pretty cluttered without that much space, so I don't really do it anymore. But say you'd have like the 3 corners of a different word, so you'd have crab, jellyfish, dolphin. Maybe you pick up 3 or 4 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, come. Okay, crab, and they have to run to the corner and stand in that corner, right? So you say the word, they have to run to the picture, whichever word you say. Like I said, I don't always do it, well, I don't do this at all anymore, to be honest with you, because the classrooms have changed, and it also would get out of hand with certain students, so I didn't always enjoy doing this game. But there's a lot of stuff you can do like this, where you get the students up and moving. You could put like 1 picture here, 1 picture here. Okay, you'd probably spread them out more. I'm not going to, because it'll be off camera. What I'd do is get some tape, put a line on the floor that splits in between the 2 pictures. You could say crab, student have to jump to the crab. Jellyfish, they have to jump over the line. Then you could go crab, they jump back over here, and you go crab, and maybe they jump wrong. So you can play lots of games where they've got to run, jump, tap, hit, swat, all the different flashcards while they're on the wall. So there's a ton of things you can do with flashcards. I know I've not mentioned everything, but yeah, those are predominantly the things I do with flashcards. So those are some of the ways I use flashcards in the classroom. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found this video potentially entertaining. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing, especially if you're living in a foreign country, especially if you're in Thailand, because I do make videos a lot on this channel about living and working abroad. If you're interested in learning more about teaching English in Thailand specifically, I have made a video on this channel already about doing just that, and I will leave a link to that video right here, so check that video out if you're interested in teaching here in Thailand.